everybody, it's your girl Salaya and welcome back to my channel, darling. Or should I say, Konnichiwa. Because today's episode is all about the Harajuku Effect, which is what I'm calling it, and how Japan kind of took over pop culture. Because nowadays I look to my left, I look to my right on social media, and I'm starting to wonder, when did everybody get so Asian? So I've been thinking I have an idea of when it all happened. We had just survived Y2K. We're in the early 2000s, and this cute little baby-faced rapper, his name is Pharrell. Yes, that's exactly who I'm blaming. I'm calling him the godfather of Harajuku. I like the way it sounds. It's got a little ring. Anyway, he had just put out Frontin', and him and his partner, let me clarify. I feel like that Jamie Foxx episode. Him and his partner, co-producer, whatever they are, one half of the Neptunes, him and Chad Hugo, everywhere they go, they are rocking and kind of like branding Bathing Ape. And those are some of the earliest people that we know who rocked it and introduced it to American culture. And I know you're thinking, because like I said, we just got out them late 90s and we still deep in our thug era in hip hop. Okay, it's baggy jeans, baggy pants, baggy shirt, baggy pants, everything baggy, and a cell phone in the back, right? And you got brands like Rocawear, Aniche, Tommy Hilfiger. And those are kind of what's taken over, you know, because there's a thug in my life. Wait till I tell my mama. And while I was right there with Rihanna, there kind of was a need for a shift to happen. And I feel like Pharrell said, you know what? The record label name is Death Row. The rapper's name is C Murder. The album is called It's Dark and Hell is Hot. And he just kind of wanted to, you know, flip it and reverse it, you know, make people look. He was trying to preserve rappers, make them look safe, make them look presentable to white family members, you know. So what can you do? What's the opposite of a thug era? All right, that's when he introduced shark hoodies, camouflage pants, the mall skater look. Pretty much just ripping off everything that Rocket Power had. They took everything my girl Reggie had, bar for bar. Anything Otto and Twister had in their closet, they started rocking. Even more interesting because I did the math and I was trying to say, well, how much did Mr. Pharrell Williams get paid down there for doing all that promotion across seas, huh? And you know, I didn't find nothing. To my dismay, I did not see a dollar figure. Now, I don't know if it's just not my business, but a lot of sources say that Pharrell just prioritized his relationship with the brand's owner. His name, Nigga, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, but instead of getting compensated, it sounds like they worked on a long-standing working relationship, and Pharrell even went on to co-found his own clothing brands, which were Billionaire Boys Club and Ice Cream. So while a lot of other brands didn't survive, like the ones I mentioned earlier, or even if they did survive, they kind of just lost the juice and the flavor that they had. But I would say that BAPE has continued to keep its head above water. So, did it work out? I don't know. Actually, let me just Google real quick. How much is Bathing Ape worth today? That'll help me make my final decision. Bathing Ape. Ooh, I belched net worth. That's not about right. Okay, you know, Chat GPT AI. He done said $300 million in revenue and $90 million in EBITDA. I don't know what that is. I know what dollars is. Oh, that was just in 2023. Yeah, so, I remember that I told you I'm blaming Pharrell and I'm calling him the godfather of Harajuku, so keep up with me. We're moving on to our Gwen Stefani era, and I really felt like she ran so you could just crawl behind her 20 years later. I don't know if it was appreciation. I don't know if it was appropriation. The verdict is still out. Actually, it did receive a little bit of backlash, but it had commercial success. So for her debut solo album, Love Angel Music Baby, something, I'll put it on the screen. I do remember the era though. She was walking around with a posse of Asian women, and they were her backup dancers, but they was at the press tours, they was at the regular tours, at the signings, in the videos, okay? She made a perfume off of it, a clothing line off of it, and she really did play into it for about 2 years, calling it her Harajuku era, something like that. Always follow the money, okay? One of her #1 singles on that album, though, was "Few Times Been Around That Track, So It's Not Just Gonna Happen Like That, Cause I Ain't No." That was your cue. And guess who that's produced by? Yes, ding, ding, ding. For real, I told you, I blame him. And also follow the money. I want to let you know that was the first US digital download to sell over 1 million copies. So I know record execs were somewhere like, write that down. Write that down. Chomp for chomp, chew for chew. How can we replicate that? We're moving on to 2006, 2008. And this is where we really start to shake it up. Because even though somehow G Unit and 50 Cent in the bulletproof vest and Jeezy the Snowman and Trapper Die t-shirts is still alive. How? I don't know. But like I said, it's becoming this. You either dress like this or you dress like that. And that did kind of represent a little bit of a emo alternative skater at the mall aesthetic. And it just even continued to further when Kanye West just continued to shake things up and was constantly seen wearing bathing ape. And he just had his own style in general because he had the boys wearing 2 collars and tilted up with the glasses. I don't want to talk about it. Artists like Soulja Boy having a song called I Got Me Some Bathing Apes. Dun, dun, and even the Clips. And I just think it's so funny that not only are Clips or Pusha T and Pharrell friends, but also I think they grew up near Timbaland and Missy. Like, was the whole neighborhood talented? But BAPE continues to grow and flourish with their different colorway sneakers. So there is a space and they're still influencing the culture. So now, remember when I said follow the money? And I feel like Gwen Stefani received a lot of backlash because people didn't feel like her era was genuine. Not that the clothes weren't cute, not that the music didn't sound great, but she got backlash for it. In 2010 enters Nicki Minaj. And she was, I don't know if she was playing with y'all head top because she kept insinuating that she was Asian and y'all was pronouncing her name Nicki Minaj and spelling it with 2 Ks. But she did start to brand herself as the Harajuku Barbie. And this time, it worked. Nobody really had any backlash for her. The music was fun. The videos were fun. She would play with a lot of Asian theme and cultures. And another thing, when her debut album came out called Pink Friday, on the cover, she's kind of shaped like a Barbie doll with some really extended limbs. Follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. Now, in 2010, Mattel also put out a Barbie alongside that very successful album just for her. I want to let you know it sold out globally. Yup. It sold out globally. Follow the numbers. And another thing that people don't really talk about with Japan is that they're the second largest music market after the US. So a lot of things I feel like were learned from her because, again, she also had a lot of perfumes, clothing lines. The M word of the day is merch. Because in Japan, they really love if you make collectible. They love fragrances. And with that yen they gonna spend a lot, okay? And it's kind of like having like a little niche market of a fan base. And when you tour, there's more of an excitement for you. So artists try to get like a more global reach. And I feel like they learned a little bit about that with testing it out with her. And another thing that artists will do when they do pick up steam in another market is that they'll release a this country edition, this edition only. And those will be exclusive songs just for that audience. So I even remember, I'm so embarrassed to say that one of my favorite Nicki Minaj songs is actually a song called Wimbles. I don't know what a wimble is. I don't know who it is. I don't know what it does. I don't even know if it's slang. But the beat is so, I don't know, so funky, and I absolutely love it. And that's one of the things that she did with her album. That song is only on the Japanese edition of the Pink Print. Okay, so that pretty much brings me to today, where every rap girly and her stylish stylist wants to get their hands on an Asian moment. Because I feel like it's kind of expanded. So now it's like Japan, Korea, and China. And wherever you can kind of, dip your toes into those markets. Because there is like a demand for it. From Megan Thee Stallion and her song Mamushi. And I believe that was Yukichiba. I believe he's Japanese. You've got Lotto in the song 7 with Jungkook. He's also from Asia. I think he might be, I don't want to mistake it though, but he's of Asian descent. And then you've got other artists, whether it's just the looks. Cardi has done a bunch of Japan themed looks. Glorilla has been embracing it lately. Doja Cat, Cardi B, like I said, Sexy Red, I've seen her do it as well. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's appreciation, appropriation? Do you think it's genuine, an authentic love for the culture? Or does it just make sense for business? Because the fashion is loud, girl, the fans is loyal, and it make dollars and it makes sense. So is it just a smart business move? Or do you think they're really embracing it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget and don't be shy to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Have a great day.